This is Eric Bradley with WorthPoint, Vice President of Editorial Content. Talking with
Chris Callan.
Chris. Manages a very delicate process of restoring high-end collectible bobbleheads. Now, the bobbleheads were created in the early 60s, and the collecting craze has only picked up steam in the last few years. So, Chris, what are some of the challenges you have? How did you get involved in the restoration process?
Well, I started doing it I'm from St. Louis, and about 4 or 5 years ago, I was really interested in getting a Cardinals mascot. And they were at the time out of my price range, and I found one online that had some damage to it. So I bought it, and I'm an artist by trade, so I was able to just use some of the skills I have and was able to fix it up. And was really happy with the way it turned out, put it in my collection, and I thought, it was fun. I'll try another one. So I got another Cardinal, and that one I actually put on eBay, listed it as restored. That's something I always am sure to do because I don't want to do anything that's misleading. Because some people only want original dolls, but put it on restored and was able to sell it, and kind of from there it just took off. I had people start reaching out to me. Some of these series collectors have dolls in their collection that have damage to them, and want to get them looking as good as possible. So I started getting special requests to fix up their dolls, and just kind of built up a pretty decent reputation for doing it. And this is the first one I've done for Mike Hatley, who has his booth here. But it was a big one, the Phantom of the Opera. I mean, it's a very part of a very hard to find, very rare monsters set, what they call it, made up of 3 dolls. It's a Phantom of the Opera, Wolfman, and Frankenstein.
Wow.
And they're all multi-$1,000 dolls.
No way.
So,
Why did they deviate from sports into those 3 characters? Was it just pop culture moves?
Just pop culture, and these were made in the 60s. So I don't think that they were all, they're made for collectibles, but I don't think they ever foresaw them turning into what they did.
So what are you seeing in terms of, is it more affordable? I would think it'd be more affordable to be able to find a bobble that's got some damage on it, a little bit of scratch paint, and then have you work on it. Does that increase the value, or is it more difficult to spend the time working on it in the short term?
Right. So there's, like I said, there's some guys who really serious collectors who really want something completely original, even if it's not perfect. They'd rather have something untouched. So for them, I'm not really, doing much work for them. Other people want stuff that's looks good on display, and they would rather have it, have a little bit of work done to it and have it look nice. They're willing to spend a little money on the restoration process. I would say in most cases a restored doll never reaches the value of what a completely original doll was, but it definitely increases the value. And I've seen some pretty, gotten some pretty challenging, requests. Some really damaged dolls.
Wow.
And so I'll restore them, and sometimes they'll keep them, sometimes they'll resell them. And but it definitely increases the attractiveness and value. I've had some guys sell some of the work jobs I've restored for pretty good money. So
that's amazing.
It's kind of in the eye of the beholder. And but it's a good hobby of mine. It's not my full-time job, but I do enjoy doing it in my spare time.
So why are so many dolls damaged? What are they made out of?
They are made out of a paper mache type of material.
Composition sort of?
Yeah,
material?
it is. Yeah, it's a fibrous material, not plastic, but it's not. It's not cardboard either, but it's a fibrous. They would pour them in the molds back in the 60s, and so considering these are 60 plus years old now, they're not built to last that. So it's really hard to find dolls that are completely original. Every now and then one will turn up and they'll bring premium money.
Right.
But they're just, they're meant to be played with. They're toys, really. They're meant to be bobbled, and those get knocked over and cracked. So the most common damage will be cracks to the head because people are hitting them and they're just knocking them over, or neck damage. That's common. So that's usually what I will be repairing. Sometimes those lead to the need for repainting because, I'll have to fill in the sand, and then I do some painting over. So,
amazing.
But you know, it's been a learning process for me. I'm a artist by trade, but it's still I'm always learning, kind of refining my craft, so to speak. So it's fun.
You do an amazing job.
Oh, thank you.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much. Is there a way that people can contact you, or do you work exclusively through one company?
I do have, not a company, I mean, I have an eBay store or eBay listings. That is CRC-Customs. That's what I'm, how you find me on eBay. And just email. I don't even have a website at this point. I'm working on it, but I'm slow to roll that out. But my email is Callan, CALLAN.Chris, CHRIS, @gmail.com. Best way to get me.
Perfect.
So,
thank you so much, Chris. Appreciate it.
Thank you.